Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an FV217 Badger. It's the Tier 10 British turretless tank destroyer. It's located on the southeastbourne of Empire's border, and it's under the command of Awppenheimer. Now, he's already got his stud mark on this barrel, so this is just him playing around. It's a Tier 10 game. Let's have a look and see how he does this one. It's a 123mm gun, which is capable of doing 480 alpha and penetrates 272mm of armour with standard ammo, goes up to 320mm with the APCR, and he's got plenty of that loaded. Now, it's actually got, as they say, insane amounts of armour around the gun, 355mm of armour around the gun, but in actual fact there are lesser amounts of armour around the lower plates and just the top of the tank, but it's well angled. As you can see there, it's very well angled indeed, and that angling actually increases the effective armour to over 300mm, which makes this very difficult tank destroyer to take down. You need to get behind it, or at least alongside it, if you're going to do any damage. Okay, the enemy's been spotted. Looks like he's going straight up into the central area. M46 pattern seen at the other end, but he's been facing off against a T10. You can see it's incredibly slow. 30 kilometers an hour forwards, 12 backwards, and up this slope he's, well, painfully making his way up there. But it does have 10 degrees of gun depression, which means that even when you get to the top of this slope, you should be able to deal damage to the enemy without the enemy really being effectively able to do any damage back. And that means that that T30 off in the distance might have difficulty trying to pen. In fact, I think that shot that hit him from behind, the M48 pattern, was actually a deliberate hit against Awppenheimer, who is now penetrating these enemy tanks, easily going through them. T30, side of the turret, no problem whatsoever. They're going to have a great deal of difficulty trying to get through his armour. Fires one through the drive wheel. He's used his repair kit, but he won't be able to use it again. And in fact, actually, he's out the game. I can see a tree going down in the distance, so I think there's somebody down there, and we can see a 60 TP is about to come around the corner. Of course, he's got a pretty meaty gun. But Awppenheimer's yet to take any damage from the enemy, so if they do fire at him, they're going to have to probably fire HE to actually get some damage, or use APCR on the sides of the vehicle, or heat. That Renegade's about to get a nasty shock. Hello, Mr. Renegade. Yeah, you don't want to see us. That tracked him. Okay, if we can get the right angle. Yeah, that's tracked him again. And he goes down to the object 140. And we're going to push around the corner now. Oh, 252. All he can do is hit the tracks, but he takes a round through his lower plate for 130. That's quite a low roll, actually, if you think about it. And we bounced around from the ISU 152K. It shows how ineffective those tank destroyers can be when they're up against something very, very solid. And there goes. Now, this 252U is going to have to turn sideways to engage this guy. And that turning sideways is actually going to make him slightly vulnerable to the pattern. And yes, the pattern has got around him, but he finishes the 252U, and now he can get his front to the vehicle. You can see the pattern actually fired an APCR round to get through the sides. And although he's been tracked, he will be mobile very shortly. We're doing rather well on the other front, with 4 tanks up on the enemy. And this is the best position to be in a tank with good gun depression, that you can come up this slope and just blast away. First shot goes in for 437. Yep, easily through the front of the turret. 434. Still firing. He's firing APCR. Remember, it's 480 alpha, so he is getting some low rolls here. And the pattern's been sneaky because he's now pulled around the corner, and there's a 268 to Awppenheimer's right. Yeah, over there, and the 268's fired into his tracks. Probably better to actually take care of the 268 first before dealing with the pattern. In fact, actually, what have we got over there? Waffenträger. Oh, he'll easily go through that. Took a round in the side from the 430U though. And there goes the Waffenträger. So he's got 4 kills now, and potentially he's got the high caliber. He really needs to take care of that 268 before he deals with the other guys around the corner. He's backing up. There's the 430U. Seems the pattern has been dealt with. So it's just the 430U he's got to kill. In fact, actually, he's going to sit up here and shoot down on him. Mind you, that will give the enemy a lower plate. And the 268's now come to a position where he can get a shot at Awppenheimer. So he's had to abandon that chance and go for the 268. Took a round for 641 from the 268. He fired a heat round. There's the enemy Arty. He's gone. 268 is still there, but he's just been killed. Now it means the 430U takes a round. 459, another low roll. There's only one other enemy left, and that's the 60 TP up near the cap area. There goes the 430U, taken out by the GW Tiger. So he's not going to get his top gun. Not from that guy, but he might take out the 60 TP. But he's got to rush to get there because there are other teammates and they might want to get there first. He's reloading a APCR round. He's fairly low on hit points now as well, actually. Only 132 out of 2,100 that he started with. The 60 TP could probably take him out with an HE round. Shake him enough to finish off his tank destroyer. I'd say it's almost a certainty that he's got the high caliber. 2,600. 2,600, what am I saying? He's got the 20%. Oh, try to get through there, but the Indian Panzer's in the way. I think that nudge has encouraged the Indian Panzer to move forwards. I don't think Awppenheimer wanted that. I think he wanted to go after that 60 TP on his own. But it was just the way that the Indian Panzer was sitting there, which was actually making him a kind of roadblock. And he either had to go out and around him, which gave the 60 TP an easy long-range shot, or he had to try and nudge the Indian Panzer to get out the way. And now the guy is acting as a total dickhead. Yeah, sorry, but if you do try to block your best player, it will end up with you either just annoying somebody who could actually win the battle for you, and you might even lose the battle if this guy is good enough. He is on for a Kolobanov, but he still has some hit points. 2,595. Oh, sorry, 1,189 rather now. With that big 152mm gun. Oh, kill shot. So he does get the top gun and potentially the high caliber, and he won the game, but well, at some cost, because you can see some heat rounds were fired at him as well as rounds that he fired out at the enemy. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. And here's the end of battle stats. It was an ace tanker game for Awppenheimer in the FV217 Badger. He managed to get a shell-proof, master gunner, duelist, fire for effect, and a bruiser out of the minor medals. Out of the battle heroes, he managed to get a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, a top gun for getting at least 6 kills, and a steel wall for blocking the most damage in the game. And his win rate from that one was 12,624. So Oppenheimer still plays it, even though he's got his third mark, he still plays it just for the fun of it. Let's have a look at the team score. 8,509 hit points of damage, easily got the high caliber on that one. The next high scorer being the 60 TP with 4,230 hit points, followed by the Bisonte, who managed to get 3,965. How the hell did that happen? This is such a dreadful tank, the Bisonte. But yep, that guy has obviously learnt how to use it properly. When it comes to kills, he had the highest number with 6. The next highest scorer had half as much. That was the 60 TP and the 430U. And when it came to base XP, it was actually the Bisonte who did the best. And that's surprising, but only by 4 experience points. Yes, he got 1321 and Awppenheimer got 1317. So they were very, very close. And I suppose the reason why is that this is a tier 8 heavy tank, whereas this is a tier 10. So for every shot that he fired at a tier 10, he was actually making more XP, and that's how he managed to pass Awppenheimer on that statistic. Awppenheimer fired 24 rounds. All 24 rounds hit the target, but only 20 of them actually did pen. One splash as well. 8,509 hit points of damage, of which 1,279 were up more than 300 meters. Those were the shots on the M53, M55, the 268, and some of the other tanks that were a bit further away. 12 hits received from the enemy, only 4 of which actually penetrated, 8 non-penetrations, and 3,490 hit points of damage blocked by armor. He spotted 1 enemy vehicle, damaged 11 of the enemy, killed 6, and did 410 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, he earned 82,772 credits from the game, got 27,315 for mission completion. That's holiday ops, that one. So 110,087 credits altogether. And after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, took away 21,782 loss. Yes, I'm afraid he did fire a fair amount of APCR during that game, and that's where his losses actually amounted. 7 bonds for this being a tier 10 game. 1,975 XP times 2 for the first victory, took away 3,951 experience points altogether. So very good game by Awppenheimer. It was a case of well, you have to be careful not to expose your sides on this thing, because if you do, you are likely to get holed in the sides. But so long as you can keep your front at the enemy and pick your targets correctly, then you obviously will be able to get damage on them. And he was very careful not to let that 268 shoot holes in him whilst he was trying to dispose of the 430. And it's a pity he didn't get the 430 in the end, because it would have been nice if he had, and then managed to go on to kill some of the other tanks to get a Radley's. But all he had to settle for in the end was a Top Gun, but he did get it. So if you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a comment down below because it feeds the YouTube algorithm, and thank you for watching.